When Efe Ajagba took this fight, many saw it as a desperate attempt to revamp his career after failing to live up to the hype. But what kind of opponent could boost Ajagba's waning heavyweight stature? This was a full-on war between the pounded yam fists of Efe Ajagba and none other than, that's right, you guessed it, the Mexican destroyer, Andy Ruiz Jr. himself.
You're the first ever Mexican heavyweight champion of the world.
Man, thanks to God. It's crazy, man.
Stay locked in for the result. Ajagba is the kind of guy you would not want to meet in a dark alleyway at night, since his last big...
Kidding me!
That's it?
No man should have to deal with this kind of force. At 6 feet 6 inches and with 14 thundering knockouts under his belt, there's a reason why other heavyweights have made a career out of avoiding him. Born in Ughelli, Delta State, Nigeria, Efe Ajagba was an absolute Yoruba force of nature from day one. He left his budding career as a humble town baker, beating bread daily to pursue his career, beating in men's faces. Not bad for a man who holds the record for the fastest victory in boxing history, winning after his opponent walked out in fear before the fight even began. Yes, Curtis Harper actually did that.
In quick fashion, and Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Wait, what?
I cannot believe
I've
this.
never seen this before.
He walked out of the ring.
He's not fighting this
He
guy.
walked out of the ring.
I've never seen this before.
So why would any opponent take this fight? Well, as you know, Andy Ruiz isn't just any opponent. He's the silent ghost of a fat man with gloves on who turns up to finesse the prize fighter of today.
The Destroyer, Andy Ruiz.
That's right, looks can be deceiving. Fury calls him the kid from Up, but Andy Ruiz lives in AJ's mind rent-free.
They see me, they're like, oh, look at this chubby kid, man. He's gonna get tired really fast. He's gonna get knocked out. But the real people that know about boxing, they know the skills that I have, the movement, like the extra fat, turning into muscle. I love to do that, you know?
Born in Imperial Valley, California, but proudly Mexican to his core, Ruiz was once written off as too slow, too overweight, and not cut from the heavyweight cloth. But in 2019, Ruiz flipped the script, literally. In what is still one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, Andy Ruiz Jr. knocked out Anthony Joshua in Madison Square Garden to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. And he made it look so easy. His hand speed unmatched for a man of his size, his chin granite, his heart immense. When put up against the chiseled physique of the Joshuasaurus Rex, Ruiz proved that appearances mean nothing in the heat of the battle. Indeed, it's hard to believe that this is the physique of a man who has reached peak male fitness. Andy Ruiz remains one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. Why? Because you can never underestimate him. Every time he's counted out, he shocks the world. Those in Ajagba's corner claimed that Efe's knockout power was simply more than Ruiz can handle. In his prime, Efe obliterated the likes of Antonio Johnson, Del Long, Nick Jones, and Iago Kiladze, to name a few. The way some of these guys hit the canvas was enough to make even the most highly trained paramedic feel the tension. But some resume is simply not that impressive. They claim that despite the 14 knockout victories on his record, most of these opponents were simply bums. They compare him to other top fighters like Deontay Wilder, who has largely been accused of fighting nobody after nobody, simply to stack up a long record of seemingly impressive KOs. Not only that, but many doubt whether Ajagba's power punching could actually beat Andy's chin. This is because we've seen Ruiz face up to power punchers before. In the third round of their fight in June 2019, Joshua landed his quintessential right uppercut and left hook square on Ruiz's head. You could literally see the droplets of sweat launch off his face with the impact. This is the kind of blow that usually no man gets up from. Problem was, that's exactly what Ruiz did. He stood right back up, and as if he was receiving a wake-up call from the heavens, he wasted no time in absolutely annihilating his muscle-bound opponent, shocking the world and causing the biggest upset of modern heavyweight history. So who really believes that Ajagba has a greater chance of knocking out Andy Ruiz than a prime Anthony Joshua? Not only that, but recently we saw what happens when Ajagba faces big, chunky opponents in the ring. In his recent fight against the Congolese Martin Bakole, it was almost as if the big belly and rolling back fat of his opponent hypnotized him into a slow state of amnesia.
Martin Bakole, the tempo starting to pick up.
Smothered the reach on Ajagba, and that's precisely what he wants to avoid.
Ajagba had a chance here to truly finesse his African rival, but instead we saw him tetchy and nervous, looking for an opening to detonate that never quite came through. As early as round 4, Bakole had Ajagba backed up against the ropes in a defensive shell, taking unanswered shots that saw the fight end anticlimactically in a draw decision.
Against the ropes. There is the signature shot there from Bakole. That uppercut, and once those start flowing.
So just how does the slow, clunky style of Ajagba in this fight compare to the snappy bursts of rapid combos that Ruiz unleashed in recent wars against Chris Arreola and Louis Ortiz here? Many believe Ruiz would knock Ajagba to the canvas faster than you can say Ogbano soup. To make matters even worse, Ajagba's disappointing loss to Frank Sanchez back in 2021 highlighted some key vulnerabilities to his style. The Cuban Flash, who spars with the likes of Canelo Alvarez, was able to make light work of Ajagba's clumsy punching style.
Sanchez, but no question, Ajagba has a dynamite right hand.
Don't get careless, but he's already short. Come up under it. Go with it.
Every time Efe came forward with the pressure, Sanchez masterfully countered, using superior skill and intelligent body movement. Sanchez was able to consistently dominate the fight on the back foot using his explosive jab that never failed to penetrate Ajagba's defenses and land on target. By round 7, Sanchez exemplified outlandish head movement that made him untouchable, followed by a brutal combo that first dropped Ajagba to one knee and then sent him crashing across the canvas.
Big right hand. Now Ajagba takes a knee, and then he gets hit as his knee was on the canvas.
However, some would argue that this was a controversial win as Sanchez landed the final blow after Ajagba had already gone down on one knee. And just when you thought Andy Ruiz had this fight in the bag, remember that he failed to secure the win in his most recent fight against Jarrell Miller. The fight was disappointing and largely suggests that the Mexican former champ struggles against other, bigger, fatter opponents.
And Miller sitting down on some punches here at the end of the round. And Ruiz may have been rocked.
Miller was able to use his tubby frame to defend himself at all times, and even used his belly to absorb some of Andy's deadliest body shots. Indeed, if Efe Ajagba came into this fight with a bit more timber on him, he may just prove the most challenging opponent Andy Ruiz has faced yet. In any case, for Efe Ajagba, this fight is everything. A win here puts him on the fast track to a world title shot. It cements his status as the next African heavyweight superstar, carrying the hopes of Nigeria on his back. Lagos, Abuja, the entire nation would rally behind him. For Andy Ruiz, this is redemption. A win against Ajagba proves he's still elite, still capable of climbing the mountain one more time. It gives him a second chance at glory, a way to silence the critics forever. This isn't just about belts, it's about legacy. Who wants it more? One thing's for sure, when Efe Ajagba and Andy Ruiz collide, it will be absolute chaos. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who do you have? And don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell, because this story is only just beginning.